You're a daughter where them take away and up to now them no find. You know you're from her again. Them all around drag her in a one van and drive over there. From that time, you know, after last week that happened, you know, we know you're not about her again. You know, everybody does. And we hear say she's a GLP supporter. Don't know what is happening there, so. But all I know say the police them now ram to kill people. The police them now ram to kill people. And me tell you know, youth. You see this gun thing, these police not going. In America, Trump, well, Elon, I don't know if you know here, Elon must apologize to Trump. Say him did take the thing too far. Yeah, him did criticize Trump. And also, he must suggest that Trump did involve in a pedophiling with Epstein. He must suggest that. Anyway, he must apologize. Come like two of them will get together again, though. Yes, quite two of them will come together again. But the bigger thing is we are going in Los Angeles. And how Trump called out the National Guard. And the Marine them, hey, a serious thing, you know. Because you know, so them man they train for shoot for kill, you know. Them not shoot. Them not supposed to have fire or not supposed to have call out them kind of people up on the road when it involve American citizens. Well, Trump no care. But all over America, demonstration there against ICE, what them call the immigration people them. A big thing. I don't know what going to happen Saturday. Trump had declared a big mass parade with the American army and artillery them. Like where the communist country them do, like in China and in North Korea, where them have a march by. Well, Trump had duplicate that in America now. And it's for his birthday. It's for the birthday to it happen. The governor, I can't go to court because them say you can't call out the National Guard and the Marine there on the road unless the governor sanction it. And nobody never tell the governor. And it's whole heap of people, when I say whole heap of people. And them, hey, I see some things where you never know them things that happen in America. I see some mounted police, three of them. One of the police them draw the youth on the ground. And one of them take the ass and I walk on him and jump over him and walk on him and jump over him. And every time the youth try to get up, them draw him down back. I see them you know the plastic thing where them put band up your hand with into the handcuff. Some little youth, I say little youth, I talk about like 8, 10-year-old. Them have this thing on them back, on them, with them hand back of them. Serious thing are going on in America. Never seen before in America. But we can say the fall of the American empire. Hey, we have a whole heap of sisters and brethren where decide say them a go other country, them nah go to America. Them nah go to America because them don't know what can happen in the airport. And it's true. It's true. If you have a green card that don't matter to these people, ICE. As a matter of fact, it has been reported that people with them green card get some serious search and them have to identify more than what them usually identify when they reach in an airport. Some of them miss them flight and all them something there. And that's America they know. And that's America they know. Reach a third world they know. Still a data, we are saying, we say, watch out. Me a follow them, you know, me now go to America for go where we are go. We now go to America, Rasta. I mean, I do not, you know, but I don't care. We are go through the man stop. Hey, people get stopped. And them just decide to them hold on for your card, the green card. But I'm not green card still, but and them saying you're going on next state when nobody can find you. Put you in some concentration style camp when nobody now find you. It's a serious thing going on, you know. Serious thing. We are talking about some things we are going on in America there, and it's not lovely at all. As me I tell you, say, I hold it for me. My sister and my brethren them decide, say, as a matter of fact, I hold it for them. I go via Panama for go other places. Panama are the best place I know. Panama I go be there though. But Canadian hardly go America, you know. Yeah, them kind of boycott that. So, I tell the daughter, say, just send me straight direct from Kingston to whatsoever, because I know that me feel say me do something, but some of the people them who them do lamp and never did do nothing. You know, see, them just draft up for what them want to do. Them not care. Them just anything where them heart tell them, so if you do, them do it. Understand? And them feel everybody will come through, they know is criminal. Because criminal, them it did start out, so them are going to get rid of the criminal, them, you know. No, criminal, them are get rid of. Them are looking at your social media account and I look what you do in the account, and if you did attack, this and attack, that and attack, that. I feel that do this or I do that or I do that. And them I take that judgment now and I say, them are going to lock you up. Some of them not tell you about to take the next plane out, you know. Them not tell you to take the next plane out. Them carry you go to one center, go hold you there. And you can't get no phone call and you can't call nobody. So you have to just do it at their leisure and pleasure. Serious thing. Serious thing. Anyway, we have a giveaway here, so. To answer the question, as usual, you win 2 tickets to attend the Appleton Estate Sizzler Live. Number is 9745051, 9745043, 9745079, or 618-0352. The question is, where will Appleton Estate Sizzler Live be held? And the answer is, you have to find that out for yourself. And you will get 2 tickets to go there. That's you know about that, right? Everybody's supposed to know where to keep plantation. You know, not in Ocherios. According to 2 people I know down highway there. It's not Ocherios. Plantation Cove, Richmond, Priory, St. James, St. Anne, sorry. And as a matter of fact, the person who give me the information, I don't see them put Ochi there, them put Priory. These people should be arrested if you try to colonize people's place. It's Richmond, Priory, St. Anne, Plantation Cove there. Argument done. Okay. So I want to remind you to that we have the same lawyer we have last week. We're going to bring her forward to talk about land and the aspects of, you know, land is a big problem in Jamaica with families who dead left and all these things and don't know how to deal with or administrate land. So I want to talk to her. She was here last week with me. She named Kimberly Green, attorney at law, Kimberly Green. So, yes, we're going to talk to her again about that big subject. It's a big subject in Jamaica. The land subject. People don't know how to deal with it. You have family, stop talk to family. As a matter of fact, you have family who kill family because of dead left land. Them call it dead left land in Jamaica. Dead left. Your family left piece of land. Especially those who, you see, if you depend on a piece of land, the family, some of the family gone a foreign, and some of the family living upon the land with a house where them grandmother dead or them mother dead or left. And the one who they are foreign, the side say them a come home with them ears say the mother or the granny dead because the house a must for them own. When them come, them see them brother or them sister in the house and them start to claim it. And the family who in the house I say, you just a come from foreign and you gonna come take you out of this your house. We don't have that, you know, and that start a whole heap of problem in the family. So we want to figure out what is the way to go when you find yourself in a damn problem there. Because, as me say, it's a big problem in Jamaica. Right? That are near the police officers club up there, so that's this Saturday, Junior Biles tribute concert. Yeah, we are going in America there, and the whole heap of demonstration we are going against Trump and immigration madness. Deport people who did it legally. Because you say people who are criminal, they are deport, you know. The people them show you a feel. You know, say yesterday, day before yesterday, them going to one Home Depot. The ICE people them going to one Home Depot, you know, and scrape out the work of them. And what them call the place again? Oh gosh, man. Walmart. Them going to the Walmart and scrape out the people them. And them go in a California a time for pick the strawberry them now. You see when the people, because you know the farmer them, the people them what do them kind of work there, you know, and American, you know, and Mexican and people from Venezuela and all them places there. It's like when we go a Canada go do farm work. We used to go a California, it's a lucky thing, go to California, and not California, Florida again, go deal with cotton and cane. We go to the cook. But the people them who did have pick the fruit them, got time for market it. Them here so the immigration people them are coming up. The whole matter about hundreds of acres land, you know. Nobody not depend the farmer pick nothing. And the cameraman will show you how the strawberry them are rotten. The strawberry them are rotten. The people them not come at work. Because them scared. And guess what? And the Latino people, them did not vote for Trump. The Latino, them did not vote for Trump, you know. And they never know say this is going to happen. No, them sorry. Them sorry, so them vote for him. You know, telling a Florida the other day, and I tell you, I say it already. The people them who are clean out the room, them, none of them can talk English. With about 4 days and every other day a different person coming there. And I try to get the person to do something for me. Them not understand English. A Cuba them come from. Cuba. And now, them I'm never version where him and them wife can't agree though, because him say Trump him a vote for because Trump are against the gay thing. And she said she a vote for Kamala. I want to talk to him now and hear him I say, yeah, because serious thing. And if you don't mind sharp, people who used to serve, I'm not talking about American who born in America now. We're talking about people who serve in the army and become veteran, you know. The thing with it, you know, is that they might say that a whole heap of people who they join the army and leave the army, the only reason why them going to the army is to legitimize themselves in America. So all them people they know, them are undone. All them people that are undone. I don't know how them will come to that. How them will come, why you look why you look Virgin Shaggy, you know? Yeah, Shaggy, you know, man. Yeah. No, I don't know how them are going to work that out, you know. But them know if we work it out. The man said, look here, we have to get more than the amount of people we not get now a day. We can't, him not reach him quota yet. Because him say him go get rid of 10 million people. 10 million people. And so far, him don't ever reach 1,000 yet. Since him start. So you know, so them adamantly, I got step up them thing now. That is why I see them all that take away your things them and I send you go to one next town. I wonder if you don't really know where I go on in America there. Trust me. When me hear certain ones that say, them now go to America, them I go somewhere else, you know, but them have to go in transit. Usually you transit in America and then you go anywhere. That's all. Them say them like that, you know. And it's not that them illegal, you know. It's just a fear. Fear that the hassle, the problems. The problems. The other time when I go through the airport in America and I lose my passport at Chicago, I lose my passport. Or no, Detroit, I lose my passport. I can't find it. I say, right, I'm going to report it. I drive to New York from Detroit. And when I reach there, I go 42nd Street, 8th Avenue. And when I go there, I report it. I don't have no passport. Anyway, I come back. I tell them, so I don't know the passport there. And 2 years after, one daughter, she didn't know. The daughter we used to read the chorus shell them on the program at night time. Yes. 2 years after she find my passport in the hotel when I was there. 2 years after. You see, from that, from the time I lose the passport until I find the passport, I'm going to get another passport. Every time I go through the airport, them carry me go in the room, go sit down. All I tell the man, them say, I have to run off, go catch a flight. You know, them don't care where I tell them, sit down there and wait for your turn. And more than one time, I miss flight. Miss the flight, them. Because them put you in the room for sit down and them don't care what you want to tell them. Them don't care. So if that was just that, you can't imagine I'll know. Me go to, hey, you can't imagine if you're going to lose your passport, I'll know. Them going to tell you say you never have no passport. Hey, you better make sure when you go through there, you have your, what you call it, your ticket, where say you're in transit for the next flight. Or if you're going there, make sure say you have your return ticket. Make sure you have your return ticket. And a visa stamp on your passport. Because it's not a lovely thing I go on in America there. Not a lovely thing. We're going to play forward this tune, yeah. The money them where you come, remittance money, where I come to Jamaica, I'm going to tax it. That means say, if a man sell $100 for you, I'm going to take out certain portion out of it. So, if your virgin same send $100, and when you come, you see a certain, it's not him fault. And when them do too, if it's a certain portion of money, them are going to track you. Them are going to track the person who sent it. Because if you're not a citizen of Jamaica, a citizen of America, you will not be allowed to send money to Jamaica. So you better give somebody who is American to do it. Yes. Give somebody who's American to do it because it's going to be bitter. Because the woman don't have a cuss, no rotted. When she don't see the money come and she can't figure out this why you not send the money because you have other woman up there. Which you might have other woman up there still. So, all them things that we have to go, we brains have to go recalibrate now for get through all of these craziness we are going. So the remittance money, it have to slow down.
2 women believed to be robbers were taken into police custody yesterday in relation to several incidents in St. Andrew and St. Catherine. Reports are that at about 9 p.m. in the Barbican area of St. Andrew, lawmen acting on information intercepted a motor car that was allegedly involved in a series of robberies in the parish. A search of the vehicle and both occupants was conducted. During the search, over 190,000 Jamaican dollars and $175 was reportedly found in the women's possession. Further checks were made at each of the women's houses. During a search of one of the dwellings, a firearm was found under a dresser with an additional 429,000 Jamaican dollars, $12,000 and 840 pounds. The women were arrested. Police say both are suspects in a reported case of malicious destruction to property and simple larceny committed in the St. Catherine North Division. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, is reporting that pilferage and unauthorized fuel extraction have been significantly curtailed at specific depots as a result of anti-siphoning measures implemented. Transport Minister Darrell Voss said the JUTC has reported a notable drop in diesel deliveries to the Spanish Town depot. As at February 14 this year, compared to previous months, a movement of 7 loads moved down to 4 loads. Mr. Voss said the government is looking at finally dealing with the issue of fuel theft, not only by prosecutions, but by the efficiency of introducing new technology, which is the compressed natural gas. He said this will also allow the company to optimize fuel usage for its intended operations. PAC Kingston Airport Limited, PACAL, has launched the infrastructure phase of the Norman Manley International Airport's comprehensive transformation program, providing detailed timelines for over $161 million in critical projects. Following the announcement of the ambitious 5-year plan in October last year, PACAL is now advancing into active implementation with safety enhancements and passenger facility upgrades that will further NMIA's transformation into a premier gateway in the region. The People's National Party, PNP, has expressed sadness at the catastrophic crash of an Air India plane today. Over 220 passengers and crew were on board the aircraft died. In a statement this afternoon, the PNP extended condolences to Indian nationals and every community grieving this unimaginable loss. Opposition spokesperson on Foreign and Regional Affairs, Dr. Angela Brownberg, also expressed confidence in the ongoing investigation led by Indian agencies with support from international partners, including the U.S. National Transport Safety Board. In the meantime, the PNP has echoed calls for strengthened global aviation safety measures to prevent future tragedies. In news overseas, in what's being described as an extraordinary tale of survival, one British man has reportedly walked away from the wreckage of the Air India crash that killed at least 200 people. Vishvash Kumar Ramesh was in seat 11A on the UK-bound Boeing 7878 flight when it crashed shortly after takeoff in western India this morning. According to the BBC, Mr. Ramesh's brother said he has no idea how he survived. Air India said there was 169 Indian nationals, 53 Britons, 7 Portuguese nationals, and 1 Canadian on the flight. Finally, Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has apologized to citizens after an escalating corruption scandal brought down a senior Socialist Party colleague. Sanchez, who has led Spain since 2018, said there was no such thing as zero corruption, and he sought to distance himself from the affair, ruling out early elections. Opposition Conservative leader Alberto Núñez Feijóo said it was time for Sanchez to resign. Sanchez admitted he had been wrong to trust Dos Santos Cerdan, the secretary of his Socialist Party, and spoke of his deep disappointment.
Remind you about this special feature we have with the lawyer. Last week we did Abar again. This week, same lawyer, Kimberly Green. She's from Robinson Phillips and White Ann in Ocho-Ross. Right now, Ocho-Ross there. 5 Newland Street. So, for information that we're giving you, or what she giving you from last week, and she's going to give you some more information this week. If you find yourself in that situation, you can check her. 5 Newland Street. That's in Ocho-Ross. Ocho-Ross, yes. Okay. So, we want to play, we'll play this tune now. We'll play this tune now, yeah. We'll play this tune now. Make her go and play it. Late night fight. Hey, anybody notice, I might, oh, the politicians, them are ramp up. Them whole heap of attack by one another. Yeah. And you know, say JLP FM facilitate a special one. Well, finally, a JLP FM, you know, say the one which them facilitate a JLP FM, but a peer argument and tit for tat and who they said this and who not did that and who did this and who did that and who are going to get sued and all them something there. So them have the people, them twisting and turning. Them still have the people, them twisting and turning. But you notice, all of a sudden, everything I got fixed before September. You didn't notice it? Everything I got fixed. One of the things we hear Vaza talk about, Earl Vaza talk about, is the transport system and how much bus I got up on the road by August, September. The bus them when I got up on the road and the fear them and the car them with the children them can use on the bus to tell when them come on the bus and when them come off, can help the parents them. All of them things there I got do by September. We heard this man Mackenzie talk about the amount of light we are going to go up by September all over the parish them. May I tell you, Jamaica going to look like a first world country by the end of August. Yes. All of them things there were supposed to do for a long time, you know. But as usual, and them will tell you, no, go say no, in order to gain votes for the election, they must make sure, say, all of these things is done, that the people them can say, yes, something are going for me, and that one they will vote for. Meanwhile, the other one round the corner there, I chat up them mouth and I chat up them mouth. Them, I don't know where them are do. Them are run an election and them are run a quarreling match, a blaming match. Them for tell the people them where them are going to do. What is the alternative to this government here? Them not do that. I run up them mouth all over the place about some unnecessary foolishness. People, I don't say them in election, you know. I don't say win election at all. Because this man here, when him Dr. Baby Trump, he might tell you, whether he might tell lie or not, he might show you some points, point by point, what them doing, what them going to do, and down the road, what will happen, and all these things, they might tell you point by point. I don't hear the other one, they might tell you point by point, nothing where them are going to do. I rush the thing, man. And then it cause friction between the two people, the people who support each party. You hear a data where them take away and up to now them no find. They don't hear from her again. Them all around drag her in a one van and drive over with her. From that time, you know, after last week that happened, you know, we don't hear nothing about her again. You know, everybody does. And we hear say she's a GLP supporter. Don't know what is happening there, so. But all I know say, the police them now ram for kill people. The police them now ram for kill people. And me tell you, youth. You see this gun thing, these police not going go carry you go to no courthouse if them catch you with a gun. The Prime Minister don't tell them what to do already, you know. Prime Minister don't tell them what to do already. Look how much youth them kill since the year start. It's almost more than one per day. More than one per day. That's an alarming amount of people get shot by police in any argument, in any society. Whether them did do something or them don't do something. Whether them have gun or don't have gun. It's a very serious thing when you have police are kill so much people in Jamaica. Now we hear the last one, we hear the 3 shot dead by police. 3 shot dead by police. Just when, day before yesterday, I don't remember when, but we hear it on the news, 3 shot dead. And that carry the tally go up more. And we still are wait for the body camera them. Make we decide the people who guilty and who not guilty. But, I tell you, I'm going to hold you pound and listen to me. Especially in the night when they listen to me. I wonder how much people realize, say, cutting and save a whole heap of life at night time. You take a joke, cutting and save a whole heap of life at night time. So man, I go out the road and when them hear what we are talking about, them can't left it. Them want to hear more. But you have some youth who just delinquent till them can't delinquent no more. And you know, see we are going, you know. If it's either on a deaf or something, I don't know, no radio or nothing, but every shootout with police now, you hear say some youth dead. Every one of them so far, what we hear about, police kill them, or them have gun. Whether them fire after the police or not, them see you with gun, them will kill you. You know, if you understand that, how much time we are going to say it? How much time we are going to say it? Me say, the police them, even if you don't shoot after them, from them see you with a gun, them going to kill you. And the police will shoot people in a foot, you know. And them have no marksman situation where them can shoot you in your hand. Them a shoot to kill. If I hear a movie, them shoot to kill. The police them not carrying you go to no court if them see you have gun in your hand, or if you take out a gun like you're going to shoot it, like you're going to fire it. They are going to kill you. And always you a man talk about him dead for this and he will go to prison for this. Him don't want to go. It's foolishness on that talk. Me kill a boy and go to prison, you know. Eh? Nobody don't want to go to prison, man. I'm mad when say that. The gun thing not working out. Say it again. If the policeman see you know with a gun, whether or not fire it after the policeman or not, the policeman is going to kill or no, shoot to kill. And if policeman stop you, make sure you say, you know, hold your pocket and take out a cell phone because I'm going to think says I'm going to shoot you, say, do you? Even if it's a cell phone you take out, I'm going to, if he might look fire from afar, he might think say you got in your pocket for a gun, he might go shoot you. And the problem with that, if it's a cell phone you take out and him shoot you, and you don't have no gun, him have an extra gun on him to put on you. Him have an extra gun. Whole heap of police go with extra gun. You know see it? That them know so well, if something no work out, them can't say, see the gun you where them did have. Them think they go on, you know. I no trouble me I make, you know. I no trouble me I make. Them think they go on. So, youth, watch what you're doing out there. Because it's not nice, it's not lovely. It's not lovely at all. Yes, we're there with you. Hey, you know, so we're going to take some phone call. I like that we're going to take some phone call, you know. We're going to take some phone call and we're going to go until about 4 o'clock with the phone call then because we have to accommodate the liar here. But, yes, I don't want to boasting tone phone call. You understand? Just keep it simple. So, phone call, very important right now. Yes, we're there with you on the stepping razor. Yes, good afternoon.
Blessed water, blessed.
Yeah, man, blessed man.
Both of them, I tell us to come next to me and have nobody to represent me at all, star. That's what first, I tell us, more God bless you, both of us, make live like Noah, you know. 600 a hard year, you know, man. Is it possible? No, it ain't possible. More God bless the boat. I tell you, I have nobody boat to represent with a poor man. You see.
Represent you for what? For what?
What I'm saying, you see, government and government body for 1% means like when a body for call upon to talk like how the government now pure in mind. The only time government pure mind about an election, and when you're dead, 2 times government response, you know, when you're dead, an election. Listen about storm blow from Beryl's storm and things.
Yeah.
But man, listen about it. He's about to do a song, so all that big man cry. I truth, a big man cry, I'm cry. But I'm a cane, I'm a pine, banana plant, and blow down. You want to go on a ball, big man. Me a big man take that in a ball. I'm about to a big man cry. Truth in my talk, I cry. Anyway, about time I tell you. Anyway, Junior Perna, me in taxi. Boy, you should check the people and thing. Forget back assistant and thing. Both time I get no.
You check them, you did check them?
Yes, I'm coming and right now, come on me yard and right now, both time we don't get nothing.
Which area you living now?
Me live top here, man, for love and stuff and St. Andrew, me live top here, man.
Oh, put top on me there.
Yeah, man, put top here. Both time we don't get nothing, both time, nothing, both time. We see both time say nice plant, them blood on care.
My blood them too.
Both you're up now, you're the best thing. People them coming and write down this and write down that. We don't get nothing about that. We don't get nothing. I look at I know so one more liquor again after. You know, I look at liquor after barrel. When you again? You never have a name. All the one come after barrel, man. That we get 2 lick water. You know, the one come after barrel, I think it's time, but you go on so away.
Yeah. So you know, you plant them no grow back here because everybody plant grow back now, you know.
We get like some of them grow back now.
9 months gone.
Come and take them and go back now, but what me I say about that?
What representative this up Alliance Sovereign this? I don't even know who represented.
The MP, Juliet, no? Yeah, Juliet.
Juliet who? I don't know them, you know, Juliet who?
The lady, the win up our St. Angela and stuff and
okay. All right.
Yeah, man.
So hold on, a group of them come together and go check her.
But listen, the biggest joke now. One more answer about he never take the whole program for Carl Junior Perna Charge. More and ask them when we can come and office. But I need 2 windows. I need 2 doors. I need some time. When hurricane season, you know. I know say the money, but I mean Junior Perna Charge say I'm gonna check issue. I and that. I know say I done something most left. I want to call, even take the balance a program for the evening about that is a serious problem, man. A serious problem about that. I need 2 win and 2 do in hurricane season now. And if I call me and tell me, where could I meet him? 2. Both of the call him, that is important. One of some call, that is important. But I need 2 win and 2 do. Hurricane season start from 2 weeks ago. I must time hope. Me not beg the government. I know about them, because me not beg money, me not beg dinner. That's why women can get too good. And them say them get money, can get, and you go to the hardware and so and so. Going on, and so and get check. Go to do call him if you know the man. You know, man, I'm in charge.
No, I don't know who you talk about. You know, maybe the man hold on, maybe the producer will listen to you, and maybe she can make a call to him.
Do both. I get him from the program from our no women can get a system. It do to win about and we not beg upload, you know, do to man and say me beg a night dinner.
Yeah, I understand. Me hear them say them have money and give it for people who did get licked up in the storm. Me hear them say.
No, do me beg a producer.
All right, sir. We will try that. Yeah, we'll try.
Do man, want women can get assistant. Man, me need it both. I need it.
All right, we're gonna make the producer ask.
Jesus Christ, boy, I need it, man.
All the way I didn't know now I go help you, no, bridge.
I know, man, but sometimes I know that I help and then I help and not care about. You must listen, 1 minute.
No, listen to me now. We don't have much time with you. Listen to me now. We'll get the producer to call them and say,
woman can get assistant.
Where you can get the assistant, all right?
When I'm going to push into the line, man,
no, all right. Man. Yeah, we're going to call them. All right, give thanks.
Do me a listen.
Yeah,
all right. Respect it.
Yes. I want them to listen. A man a ball out, say want 2 window and 2 door. 1 year now, we will come and lick off him door and window them. Plus mash down him plant them. Most people get plant lick. Even myself, I will a plant get lick. But here one now. The people them up there need, if them have them problem, they know them to come together and go find the person who himself go find and talk to them seriously. You know, see, because we know, say, maybe I know him alone up there feel that. You understand? I know him alone up there feel that. Oh, smash down and you can't get to do nothing. And now we're in the next season. And I can't tell me I see in that area. Couple of hurricanes develop out there. Yeah, one of them don't develop already. And it a move in our direction. So, we're going to fix that. Brethren, we're going to see what we can do by calling whosoever. I hope somewhere upstairs I listen to me or whosoever up there listen to figure it out for the brethren. Ian.
Hello?
Yes, blessed.
Oh, brother Mota. Good afternoon, sir. I can take it out.
Good afternoon, man.
Boy, at the end I said me I beg for today, you know.
What?
After the body camera, them, you know. Yeah, man, because watch me now, my boss. A big event advertisement Irish FM, you know, where the princess there, Itana, for keep. And I go say, me I try to go present myself, because you know me I represent and advocate for the you know, said, you know, so the police, them man, and go me a Itana show, you know, and take me from backstage, you know. After me, it's a public event for everybody. So,
but I know everybody, I don't allow for go backstage, though.
Then, hold on. Them in a year, the area, the people them for come out, if they come out, and me entertain. Them must have to come out for come talk about Maria Dean and to give her praises for her work, what she had done.
Hold on, no, brethren. I know so this thing I go, you know. When she say if you come out, me say you must come at the show. But I know everybody allowed to go backstage. You don't know that you're not going to show. You're not going to show.
No, that's why I don't go, because I not get enough to go there. I can't go stand
so you never go there? So you never go? You never go?
I go, but I go for work.
You did on the poster. Them didn't know.
Beanie Man come and Beanie Man never did on the poster.
No, wait, no, may I ask you a question?
No, but me in the community.
Them know you? She know you?
Well, no, I don't know how to talk to you, know, but to me, I have
you don't know how to talk to.
She must hear, say, Simon, down here, I do some serious work in your community.
Oh, you mean must hear? I never hear. I never hear on the radio. I never hear on the radio. I don't hear.
But you don't live in Augustown, sir.
But she don't live in Augustown. She live in Augustown.
Yeah, but you must...
They can't live in Augustown.
I'm not sure. I could tell you.
Then, yes, I don't live in Augustown, so I never know. I say, I don't know you. Mama, you call me all the while.
Yeah.
The white thing says she know you know until you call and say, she say you must come out. That means she must put you up on her show. I don't understand that. Which show you have on the radio play? Tell me. Him gone? Operator, I'm gone, him phone lock up. The time I must say they must come out of the show. And true, him a singer. I think him a singer now. It means they must come out of the show, come round the box and I say, want to go up on the stage. Brethren, have sense more than that, no man, and that's how it work, Rasta. If being the man dead, if being the man a big artist, she can't ignore being the man. Because maybe if me did it to move, know you need that, because I don't know you. I'm going to you call me all the while. Yes, Ian.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
And how are you?
I like Kevin to hear you.
I'm all right, fair laugh, man. Check your phone.
I don't take a call for the day them some more than so, you know.
Check your phone.
Check my phone?
Yes. I have so much time I reach out to you. Anyway, I do this now, because tomorrow you're not take your phone, to tell you Happy Father's Day when it come on Sunday.
Oh, Sunday Father's Day?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Have
Give
a
thanks.
blessed one, and to all the dads at IRA FM.
Okay. Call the name them now.
Lord God.
All right, no call God for me. I know God will tell you to call.
You don't tell him when I'm going to call God for you.
I know God will tell you to call. Call the name them of the people.
I'm going to call the name them.
Yeah.
Starting with... So.
See, they remember that. And me you remember, man. And me you remember. Mine then you remember.
Shane Clark.
Yes.
The White. Courtney Mack. Brian. Lollipop. Holly John, Robert Williams. I can't remember everybody's name for calling.
No, but the tune,
Nicholas Evans.
No, but the tune,
I don't want this one. Aaron Murdoch.
Yeah.
I'm not remember everybody's name. I tell you the truth. I'm going to bless up Trishan Wilson.
Shama, your father too? Trishan Wilson, your father?
Listen what I answer, man. Nobody with the foolishness. Our birthday coming up on Saturday. So I'm blessing her up now. I'm on the ear. Okay. Happy birthday to you, Trishan Wilson. When it comes on Saturday, you have yourself a blessed one. Our daughter, finish full joy your birthday for today. Muta.
Yes, ma'am.
I listen to you every night, Wednesday night and Thursday afternoon,
Me know that.
So,
yeah.
But take my chance now for call you. Bless you up and tell you Happy Father's Day and have yourself a blessed one. Shane Clark, I miss you half of the year, I'm not telling a lie.
So you come at the Junior Boys tribute Saturday?
Which part it I keep?
Ronnie Williams over Ronnie Williams, they're behind Ronnie Williams, Louis Bennett Center.
Yeah. All right. Saturday.
I'm free.
No, so it's not for pay. You know me, I girl to pay my money for go. Anywhere me want to go.
Yeah, all right. When you come, remember my juice.
All right, me ask if me I come.
That's why we asked if you come.
It's like me not get your original wife in the one who bring the last time.
No, all right. We're gone.
No, myself, me not get the one who always bring.
No, got the same one we want. See him one. If I don't get the one,
make up yourself. Saturday.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Muta. I'm going to be down to earth with this, Muta. I fake news me hear when I hear say President Trump upset with Elon Musk who wants to do business with Ibrahim Tahari. And
no, me don't know about that. Me know say when them they throw some word at him because of him in policy where him have the big beautiful bill where him pass in the house, and Elon Musk criticize it and also criticize it on a level now where him start to say, I think Trump now decides say him now work in the White House again. The Doge thing, him really, him no responsible for it again. And him look out against Trump and say, the big news is that Trump with Epstein, Epstein are the man where them.
I know about that.
Yeah, well, him call Trump name with Epstein. Like said, him a suggest, say Trump a pedophile too, like Epstein.
Okay.
And then now it get a earwire now. Earwire that Trump say no, him a go really take with some of the contract them him give him to do certain thing. And then you have a brother named Banner now who said them should have deport deport Elon Musk back to South Africa.
Back to Africa, yeah.
So is that that's what I know. I don't know about the other thing.
Because the independent media, I listen say it started initially. When Elon Musk make a phone call to Ibrahim and them try to make a proposal where him could bring the technology down to Africa, and we're in terms both of them do each other a favor where him could have used the gold, the diamond, the uranium and the plutonium to advance the science project, and then it would be distributed equally, which was a fair go. And then Trump it talked against that and said, no, you can't try and build a united Africa. You just need to stay in America. The technology don't go advance any
Which technology matter about?
Like with Tesla and the space program and all of these things. They must try to spread it globally.
Yeah, but I don't know about that part. I know about
it must be fake news then. I hope it is. Because I've always been a Trump. I'm not against Trump. But if you love your country and want to build your country like you, I agree with that. But don't try to exploit other country. And the way the fake media would have been portraying him, that they want to, because Ibrahim turned that, instead of going that way, they would have wanted to forcefully go down to Africa, take the uranium, take the plutonium, take the gold and the diamond to enhance their program in America, which would have been treason. That would have been wrong.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. We can't go too long still,
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Which part you call from?
I'm calling from Portmore. Right.
Okay, Portmore. Trump know over that side.
Yeah, I live in France. Yeah.
Trump know over that side. All right, we have to move though, because we have to give somebody a call. We're going to do the thing at 4, yeah?
Yeah, big respect. Yeah,
man. I There's some fake news that come on in the name of Traore there, Yeah, some fake news. Them have a voice there where them are used, which is film voice still, but a whole heap of the things them we see on YouTube not have nothing to do with Ephraim. Nothing. People just use that now for project him and also for almost like want to show how militant him is, and also show how him reject certain things from America and this and that. Is that thing them I use. Whole heap of AI upon him. Whole heap of AI them use for project him. I don't know who do it, but there's some people where I put him up there still, them really I show him up there as a hero for Africa and them something there, but some of the things them exaggerated, bad. Seriously. Bad. All right. And this is where we're bringing the lawyer again. Good afternoon, Mrs. Green.
Good afternoon, Mota. It's Mrs. Green Watson.
Eh?
Green Watson.
Green Watson. Okay. I never get that part of the name. Trust me. I get Kimberly Green. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So this week we want to tackle the land business now, and how people can navigate property rights and dispute in Jamaica, understanding the rights as an option. So give me a run-up of what is it about property rights and what is the options that people have when they get involved with a conflict about land and all these things, title and whatsoever.
All right. So let me start with good afternoon, everyone. So let me start with what are the rights, property rights that people have in Jamaica under the law. So, firstly, you have a right to possess land. You have a right to use it. You have a right to sell it. You have a right to enjoy it. And if you are the rightful owner, you can lease it as well. And the rights for these rights are protected by the Act, which is called the Registration of Titles Act, or even common law, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned something about conflict, right, Musa?
Yes, yeah.
All right. and how it is that persons can deal with conflict if they have any dispute over land. So let us first deal with what can actually cause dispute. The first one is boundary issue. Boundary issue means where the land starts or where the land ends.
Yeah.
And in Jamaica, a lot of persons really don't know the actual boundaries.
Yes, I true that.
So back in the days, they would say, so my grandfather say, me to get somewhere to still thinking tree there to with a pear tree there.
Yeah.
And they just think that is the boundary. But that is not so in most of the cases. And a lot of us grow up on the land believing that is where the boundary starts or ends.
Yes. So
in order to deal with an issue like that, we recommend that the person commission a land surveyor. And the surveyor will do his or her thing and determine or show you where actual boundary is. Yes. These matters get we have a lot of these coming up in court, but we call it trespass because somebody might have built a part of their house on somebody else's land because in his or her mind, that was my boundary. That's your grandfather told me.
A long
that's
time,
what
yeah.
And that we have a lot of issues like that. So in order, how you can deal with matters like these, you can take it to the court to have it resolved, or you can actually mediate it before you take it to court, or you can avoid the court process altogether and be open-minded and go to Restorative Justice Center in Jamaica, or the other one is called the Dispute Resolution Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to build a scenario here to figure out how it might work. All right. When the program was starting, I say, all right, you have people who live on land where them family left give them, and part of the family gone a foreign, and the next part live on the land in the old house where them mother, them granny left there. But the one gone a foreign now decide them are going to come home. When them come home, them are claim the land because them are the older one. Them are claim the house and the land. And the one who depend on the land all the time when the other one gone a foreign for much years, 20 years or so. Him be dead upon the land too. And a eruption start to happen going between them. What is it that can resolve that message, that thing? Because maybe them do have no will. Them do have no will.
Right. So a matter like that, and I like how you mentioned the possible 20 years of occupying the property. So in Jamaica, if there is no will and a person dies leaving property estate, then the beneficiaries, which in this case would be the children, they can obtain what is called grant of administration. So without a will, they apply for a grant of administration in the dead person's estate. And it is not because the one of foreign bigger mean that he or she has more interest in the property. It is not so. Under the law, and in this case, if the children are left, all the children have equal interest in the property. Any one of them, big, small, in between, can make the application before the Supreme Court or the parish court to obtain the grant. Apart from that, too, what we have to point out is you made mention of the 20-year period. There is something called adverse possession, but some of us know it as squatters title. Now, that person that is on the land, if he or she can prove that I have been on it for more than 12 years, or at least 12 years, I have paid the taxes, not only the taxes, I have renovated the house or built a house there, and the one in foreign has done nothing, basically turned his or her back, then the one in Jamaica can obtain what is called a positary title, or, as I said, adverse possession or squatter's title. But if it is that they have a conflict that is going on, same way, take it to, I mentioned the two places, the Restorative Justice Center, right, and the Dispute Resolution Foundation. You can actually walk into the place and tell them the issue that you're having, and they will assist in these kind of matters.
All right, so make we say that the one who they are foreign, did I send money to the one who in the house for help with the maintenance of the house and all them someday? It make a difference in that case?
Yes, it makes a difference, because now the one in the house will have to be fair to say, yes, he or she gave their contribution. And in their mind, the one overseas would think that because I'm giving money, I still have an interest. So I think it would be fair that you have to consider that, because it is a form of contribution. Yeah. And then that person now will have what is called an equitable interest in the property too.
So how you decide who get it? How you decide who get it?
All right. So it is not a matter of who gets it, It's a matter of share. There's going to be a share percentage. Yeah. As I mentioned, if it's only two of them, the father, say, Mas Jane died and he left two sons, John and Bob. John, they're foreign, Bob, they're here a long time. John has always been sending money to Bob to take care of the property. John now has an equitable interest just like Bob. So, and as under the law of intestacy, all children are equal under the law, and their interest is just the same, half and half.
So the age don't make no difference then for the two children?
No, sir. Not at all.
Okay.
The age does not matter.
So the government can take the property if them does a gaba one another. I mean, can the government take the property?
No, the only time the government will take a property is if there are no beneficiaries, nobody at all, no nieces, no cousins, no aunts, nobody at all that has made claim to a property. Yeah. Not because they're in a conflict, the government can take a property, no.
Yeah, but how you resolve that? That may I say no. The one of foreign say, them come home, and the one in the house say, them they in the house already. Sky knows a whole lot of them people, them not pay land tax,
Yeah.
They not pay land, they know in the house I live. And if the house wants fix, them fix it. Or them send for foreign say, why you want to say the house want fix it, you can't send them money to do that. And the person send them money and them do it. But now the person decide them to come home. It's a resolution me talk about how you resolve that if the one say, him want the house now to deal with female life because I'm not go back to foreign. And the other one I said, no, but me living at the house. No. And me not get up. How you resolve that?
All right. If both of them are not able to come to an amicable resolution, then you talk it, which means, may I talk it out like man and man. Let us talk it out. Let us see if we can agree that the law says, you will get 50 or daddy did, you take half, me take half. If it's a house, if you want to put another story on it, fine. Or if we want to split it, the land which is subdivided, that is another option too. But if it is that they are hard-headed and not willing to come to a resolution, then it is a matter that the court will have to resolve. That's when the government, quote-unquote, comes.
Yeah, and that may ask about who resolve a situation like that. Because it's enough of that out there, you know. There's enough of that out there. You know, I mean, you can understand that too. All right. What happened to now to lease land? Where you lease a piece of land from somebody and you put all of your things them on the land, your yam and your coke, and you build up your things and, you know, your farmer go on good and anything there and red eye see it and say, why, what about my land, you know, I never know say it's so fertile. How them work that out? And after we take off the crop off of the land or what can happen there, so?
As you said, Fred, I will have to wait until this man gets his crop. The law provides for a particular period for agricultural land. I believe it is a 1-year period that you get. It depends on the type of crops too that you get.
Like
if it is that red eye, if red eye decides to take this man to court, that is it. Then the court will allow him some time to reap what he has on the property.
Like coconut tree, 5 years.
Yes, man. Any crops you have, and you are the one that puts it there, the court will allow you some reasonable time because the court has to balance as well the interests of both parties.
Yeah. And then now the man who spend all them time for plant all of this thing and lease the land, the man just say, boy, I want back him land now and give him a year to come off of the land. And that's it. You have to go find somewhere to plant.
Yes.
And it's right there. Unfortunately. It's unfortunate, yes, because we would like that happen to me. But me I talk about some real things, you know, because I know the bush I'm living on. People say them things to me all the while, and I'm saying, but me I'm a liar, sister, brother. I'm a liar, because man come for my things and me plant my pine and me don't get none of it. And I can't catch the thief because I don't live near the land. You know, see, government say them going to put people on it, where them call it like a police, farmer police, where they going to survey the land and make sure it says anything happen. But you can't do that in a Jamaica. You have to give the man a gun and make him look about him land. You know, see it. Oh, you see that?
So you're talking about like Frida Larson if somebody steals.
Yeah, man, them are the wickedest thing, man. After me plant 200 root of pine, you're going to get too tight. I talk about me personally, you know. After me plant 200 root of pine, I get too tight. Right? And every time I watch my plant, and I watch my plant, obviously the plant and get fit now. By the time you go back, the boom, the plant chop down. I have to just go out with the sucker them. So, where you do this so? Where you do this so?
Why in that situation, though, all you can do legally is to report it to the police. Because when it comes to the country areas, there are a lot of feudal larceny matters, and I have seen a lot of them in court. I have dealt with a few of them back in the time when I was actively in court. But what you'll have to do is to report them. Some of them do get caught, and they will have to pay. But it's unfortunate that you don't catch all of them.
All right. Let me ask you next. Right, we have to take a... Yes, talking to the lawyer here, and it's very critical that we deal with this subject here because that is a main problem in Jamaica, the idea of land and land ownership. Now, I don't know if she can deal with this, you know, but you're at 5 Newland Street, right?
Correct, yes.
Now, I hope you have a security guard there because I'm going to send people to you on the line going very long. Line going very long, right?
Send them come, man.
All right. Look, I know. I like how you said that. Send them come. All right. Let me ask you something now. If you buy a piece of land and you're going to build your dream house on it, right? 1 level, flat. You're going to build your dream house. And you build your dream house and you live there for quite a few while. You make it with certain things that, you know, you just feel comfortable. And then one day a piece of land the next door, yo. And you see a man come, look like him buy the piece of land. And him put up a almost story building in front of your land. Where it reaches a stage where when him sit down up in a film cocoon, him can look down in your what's it. And you don't have no privacy again about it. Can you do anything about that?
Well, you should have done something about that in terms of he was beginning to build to see if there's any violation that he's dealing
No, but you
with.
don't know, say the building will go so far, you know. Because you tell you 3 years ago, you know, think say a story building are going to like you live in Manhattan. You know, see, it'll come to you straight now. And you see my go up, you know, and your privacy is one of the main things that you want in your yard, in your house.
Right.
Oh, you work that.
That one is sticky.
Eh?
That one is sticky because you there is no restriction really as to how tall. Well, let me phrase it another way. So the parish council, however, they have certain conditions and certain standards, right, that you have to follow in terms of building your house on your land. But if this man is within all of these standards and all of these guidelines, he has not breached any law per se. So what you can do with your flat level is to try to implement other means to get your privacy. Do you want to build a wall that can go up a little enough to give you that privacy that you need?
No, you're going to have to go
and
build
ensure that your wall is not going against the parish council requirements as well.
It's a dome you have to go build, Mama. You have to go build a dome. Because up him are going, so when him look down, the wall now go work out for you. A dome you have to go build where cover the whole house.
But it is sad though, but that is what he or she may have to do. Well, build a dome. I've never seen a dome in Jamaica though. That would be very
I said too. But you see, the way things are going now, no, people are complaining, you know. People are complaining because I mix up with certain people at daytime because of the work my lady do. And them sit down and attack. And it's a problem because them never expect that. Them did it for 30 years. Some of them did it for 40 years before their husband dead. Them never know say the place should have become like that. And them can't do nothing about it. Obviously.
Yes.
It's terrible.
It is unfortunate, yes.
But yet, see, them tell you say you can't build a certain building in front of any government building. Then all them build a tall building there in front of Jamaica House. It's not a security threat, that.
In front of Jamaica House?
Yeah, the tall building over the other side of the road in front of Jamaica House. You don't know it. You don't come at town. You don't come at town.
I come to town, Muta, but I can't remember. Oh.
There's a tall building in front of Jamaica House before you reach King's House there, on the other side of the road. Before you reach Thank God It's Friday.
On Hope Road there?
Yeah, man, in front of Jamaica House.
Yes.
That tall building with taller than any building on the road.
Well, it's that. Well, I guess they don't think it's a threat, so they have not done anything about it. But as I say, remember, if they are within their rights and their guidelines, there's nothing much that they can do.
But maybe the person who in a Jamaica House ability to. Another story. All right. Yeah, laugh. All right. The idea of planting your food and taking it off of the land is really a problem to a whole heap of people because, you know, the sustenance, why you're planting it is to feed your family. And so you send your people to school with the yam where you plant and the banana where you plant. And because the man had me say, red eye, him just come one day and say, him nah up your lease. Him nah give no more lease for the land. I mean, so you have to take out the food off it. So where the person for do where they plant the land? I mean, him can't go beg and beg the person. But as me say, a red eye person, him say, boy, him can't make a money off him land now. Even though him never think about that for years until this man come lease it. And him say, what? Some big yam and banana they pan out the land, they never know so that could have work. And him just come do it too. Where him for do? A poor people, where him for do? Where him for do? Tell me so.
Well, I have heard of a situation like that.
Oh, you hear of it too?
Pardon me?
No, I'm glad you say you hear about it. That's not a far-fetched thing you talk about.
Right. Well, you do have persons like that, and it's unfortunate that the farmer, the only thing he doesn't own the land, and that is the problem. He's just a tenant or a lease.
Yeah.
So he really can't do anything that is going to be adverse or affect the owner's interest in the land.
Yeah.
So if the lease is up, it's unfortunate. You just have to find somewhere else. And Jamaica have a whole little land, man.
No. If a man lease piece of land and him dead near the land, when can walk a man and get up 5 o'clock and go up there. And the man rely man because the food upon it. And him have to come and fight now. Whole heap of land unnecessary because the whole heap of land round him good all owned by certain people when I lease them land. And this time sustenance, this is how him feeding picking them off. You know, it's a terrible situation. But it's there in Jamaica. As you say, you know about it too. It's there in Jamaica. And that is a problem.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to rectify it. But, all right, so I can run over where you tell me already. Since we are going so done. We're talking about, tell me where you tell me before. That's what I can remember.
Okay, so persons in Jamaica have property rights under the Registration of Titles Act and common law. You have the right to possess land. As I indicated, even with adverse possession, you have the right to possess land up to no more than 12 years, and that land can become yours, provided that it is owned by a private person. If it is government land, you will have to sit for more than 12 years. You also have a right to use the land.
How much years? How much years is government land? How much years?
60 years. And it has to be crown land that is owned on title by the Commissioner of Land.
Okay. So, all right, in that case, you know, if you're upon a crown land and you plant your food, you know, and a man come now and buy the land from the government, you don't have no right again for it, right?
It all depends. If this person can also take the land with you on it, you know. And they can even consider to be your landlord.
If I build up church, you know why upon it.
Oh, then yes, you have to leave. Especially if you have not dispossessed the government before, or the Commissioner of Land.
Okay.
And dispossessor means if it is that you have satisfied the 60-year period, then yes. But if you have not satisfied that 60 years, then you got to go.
Okay. All right. Yes. All right. You can continue.
Oh, okay. So, and we spoke about disputes and how disputes can be resolved. The last resort, I hope people take the last resort with being court. So you make court your last resort. Go and speak about it like two big people. or go and seek the help of the restorative justice system, center rather, or the dispute resolution foundation, and see how best they can assist you in those matters. They have dispute as to boundaries. Go and seek the help of a land surveyor to determine where your actual boundaries are. And don't follow what grandma and grandfather did point out many years ago. Yes.
Okay.
And as it relates to predial larceny, it is best to report it to the police.
Okay.
Because once they have a report, and if it happens again, who to tell you might catch this person the second time? But I know that this is an issue that has been plaguing Jamaica for a long time.
All right.
Yes.
Give thanks. Give thanks.
Welcome.
I don't know if you want to come back again, but I'm going to figure out something. I'm going to tell them to call you again when I have time. You know?
All right, Musa.
Yeah, man,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming. Yes.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. So, let's take that. Holiday again, we'll present the African names to the people. We're going to start with the male names. Ishe. Ishe. E-S-H-E. Ishe. Ishe means life. Life. Isiako. Isiako. E-Z-I-A-K-U. Isiako. Isiako means good wealth. Good wealth. Izigbo. Izigbo. E-Z-I-G-B-O. Izigbo means beloved. Beloved. And Diap. D-I-O-P. Diap means ruler or scholar. So that's Ishe. E-S-H-E means life. Isiako. E-Z-I-A-K-U. Isiako means good wealth. Izigbo. E-Z-I-G-B-O. Izigbo means beloved. And D-I-O-P means ruler or scholar. Female names. Samia. Samia. S-A-M-I-H-A. Samia. Samia means generous. Generous. Salma. Salma. S-A-L-M-A. Salma. Salma means safe. Safe. Salama. Salama. S-A-L-A-M-A. Salama means peaceful. Peaceful. Sabia. Sabia. S-A-B-I-H-A. Sabia means beautiful. So that's Samia. S-A-M-I-H-A means generous. Salma. S-A-L-M-A. Salma means safe. Salama. S-A-L-A-M-A means peaceful. And Sabia. S-A-B-I-H-A. Sabia. Sabia means beautiful. African names, beautiful. At least you have a name where you know what it means.
Yeah, Mota.
Yes, sir.
Manners, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mota, may I listen to the program one day, see?
Which day?
And about 2 Thursdays ago.
Okay.
Not sure of the exact date. But it was after the program, I listened to the news. And I'm not sure if I hear the news correctly. But they said they was planning to give Israel the roof out of the airport in Kingston there. They repair the roof.
They are going to repair the roof.
To give, to repair the roof out of the airport at Kingston there.
Yeah.
But may I say, Israel, which is a murderous country where murder so much kids right now. I think we should not deal with Israel, because if we say we protect our children, then we cannot protect our children, them and do business with people we are kill children.
Them, my friend, you know. Baby chump on them, my friend.
Yeah, but that is a big problem.
So what we are going to do about it? Tell me.
Huh?
What we are going to do about it?
What can we do about it?
And that may I ask you. What we are going to do about it? Are you bring it up, you know? What we are going to do about it?
Yeah, we need some solution to them kind of problem there. We just can't afford to them things that just blow over some Muta so easy, and then Israel come and go make money off of Jamaica, and Jamaica say them a protect children and them love children and them a give Israel contract. Me not see how that it should even be possible.
It shouldn't be possible. I agree with you, but I just want to know where you're going to do about it.
Oh, me, the individual can't do much about it, but collectively as a people, we can do something about it.
All right. Well, work it out and me join you.
You join me?
Yeah, what you mean,
but,
man?
Yeah, but looking on the motor.
Yeah.
But looking on enough time we say we want protest over certain things around here, right?
Yeah.
And we can't see nobody come for protest about these things.
And what if I protest from allow me a protest, Bridget?
Yeah, me know. I've been on protest with your motor, but when I say motor, last time we say one protest that go on somewhere around here. Both of them send out the police them and say it can't happen.
Yeah.
But now we see the Prime Minister actually tell people to go out, they go protest because the other party said something where them not like.
A fork tongue them deal with, the Native Americans say they speak with fork tongue.
No, we need to bring in back some Marcus Garvey philosophy around here, and anything with Marcus Garvey say we do to politicians. At that we have to look to them right now. Right, as Coco T say, make hold them and box them up.
All right, sir. Give thanks. Yeah?
Yeah, man. Blessed.
And now the details. A St. Mary couple has been slapped with several charges in relation to the sexual assault and unlawful detention of a teen girl who was babysitting their child in Bailey'sville District 2 years ago. Charged are 32-year-old barber Anthony Berry, otherwise called Zeeks, and 26-year-old cosmetologist Tamara Downer, also known as Mummy, both of Bailey'sville. Maisha Brody reports.
Reports from the Port Maria police are that in June 2023, with her guardian's permission, the teenager visited Berry and Downer's house to babysit their baby. The couple reportedly held the girl at the house against her will for days, where Berry allegedly sexually assaulted her several times. It is alleged that whilst Berry committed the act, Downer walked into the room. However, she did not intervene, but rather encouraged Berry to continue his actions. It is further alleged that on the third day of the girl's detention, Downer fed her food, after which she lost consciousness. The girl reported that she woke up on a beach in another parish and contacted her mother afterwards. A report was made to the police and an investigation was launched into the matter. Berry and Downer were taken into custody during an operation on Tuesday, June 1, where they were subsequently charged. Berry was charged with 5 counts of rape, sexual touching of a child, and unlawful detention with intention to have sexual intercourse, while Downer was charged with aiding and abetting rape, cruelty to child, failure to report child abuse, and householder inducing or encouraging violation of a child under 16. Their court date is being finalized. Reporting for IRFM News, I'm Maisha Brody.
The police said they foiled a murder plot during an operation in St. When the shooting subsided, Bonik and 2 other men were seen with gunshot wounds. They were taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. The 4th man reportedly escaped and is being sought by the police. 1 AK-47 assault rifle and 1 9mm pistol were seized during the incident. The matter was reported to the Inspectorate of Professional Standards Oversight Bureau and the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM. Police explained that Bonik was reported on bail condition in relation to the October 2020 murder of 38-year-old Patrick Spence. Bonik was jointly charged with Everett Duncan for Spence's murder. Duncan, who confessed to the murder and also implicated Bonik, was killed. Bonik appeared in court on Friday, May 30, in relation to the murder of Duncan. However, the matter was postponed until January 8 next year. The conditions of Bonik's bail prohibited him from being in St. Anne, mandated him to avoid interference with witnesses, and required him to report to the Maypen police station in Clarendon 3 times per week. A male vendor was shot and killed by unknown assailants in the vicinity of the Old Harbour High School in St. Catherine this morning. His identity has not yet been released. Principal of Old Harbour High, Linton Ware, told RFM News that the incident happened at about 6 a.m. at the vendor's stall along the roadway leading to the entrance to the school. Mr. Ware said the killing of the vendor affected students who knew him, so brief counseling support is being offered to them.
This afternoon, what we did, we pulled our guidance counselors together, all 4 guidance counselors, and we would have had an extensive devotion and a session to provide our students with the way forward and how we treat situation like this in grieving situation, because our students would have developed a very good relationship with him because they purchased from him en route to school and on their way home, so they know him quite well. I don't think our students, based on what I've seen, I don't think quite a number of them have been affected seriously in terms of, trauma, that sort of a thing. But there are students who have been communicating and talking about it, and our guidance counselor would have provided them with an opportunity for them to talk and for them to have conversation. I remember clearly I spoke to a sixth former this morning, and he said, "Boy, sir, I really, really feel away because it's yesterday I saw him and he was in very, very good spirit."
He pointed out that the early morning shooting did not affect school operations, but by this afternoon, some parents held back their children, resulting in the absence of about half of the afternoon shift student population. He stressed that otherwise, normal operations continued at the school, including the sitting of internal and external examinations.
School started at 7 o'clock, and when we reached, not many students were here. It means that our students would not have witnessed the body on the sidewalk because it was so early in the morning. Shortly after that, the police would have removed the body. It was removed very quickly, and I take it that the police officers were looking on the situation that school is right there, exam is in process, internal and external exam, but the body was removed quickly. The area was cordoned off. Pedestrian nor individual who utilize vehicle were not able to come onto South Street from town center. So it was our plan to utilize the highway to pick up our students to bring them in so that they could do their exam. But shortly after that, the yellow tape was removed and individuals were able to move quickly.
He said the exams were delayed by a few minutes.
So exam would have started at 7:30, so it was delayed for approximately 10 minutes for the students on the morning shift, which are the students for grade 10 to grade 13. The exam was not impacted much, only by 10 minutes. Where we had challenges is on the afternoon shift, which accommodate the students grade 7 to grade 9. On that shift, we have 1,500 students, and based on the attendance this afternoon, we are only able to account for 50%, a little less than 50% of the number of students who should have been on the afternoon shift today. So we can safely say approximately 42% of our students turn up for school on the afternoon shift.
Principal of Old Harbour High, Linton Ware. 7 motorists were arrested during a police operation in St. Andrew this morning. The public order operation was aimed at enhancing road safety and enforcing road traffic regulations. Speaking with RFM News, Commander for the St. Andrew South Police Division, Senior Superintendent Damon Manderson, said majority of the motorists who were arrested had outstanding tickets and warrants.
Throughout the operation, of course, a number of both private and publicly operated vehicles were stopped, searched, or otherwise based upon clear instructions or reasonable cause for the stop. So whether it was observed that the tint on the vehicles were excessive or illegal, or observation of other breaches, they were stopped and engaged. During that process, at least 7 persons were arrested. 1 individual operating a motorcycle without a license, and so he was arrested and charged, and some 6 others were arrested based on the fact that they had warrants to answer to, and so they were all taken to the traffic court to do so.
He said 93 traffic tickets were issued for various breaches of the Road Traffic Act.
We, throughout the process, had some over 20, almost over 20, approximately 25 pairs of plates removed for various defects. Some, very much extreme defects than others. But, of course, all in line in ensuring that the vehicles that are operating on our roads are up to par and is, of course, fit for purpose and not endangering road users. We also had some 93 traffic tickets issued for various breaches of the Road Traffic Act, and some 10 motor vehicles were seized, again, for various breaches as provided for under the Road Traffic Act. We also saw the issuance of some 166 summons, as of course we also had the Justices of the Peace with us on the operation, and we had some 166 summons served for various breaches.
Head of the St. Andrews South Police, Senior Superintendent Damien Manderson. The People's National Party, PNP, has condemned the government's move to remove the Auditor General as a commissioner of the Integrity Commission. During yesterday's meeting of the Joint Select Committee on the Integrity Commission Act, government member Everett Warmington's proposal for the AG's removal from the commission was accepted. According to Mr. Warmington, the law states that the AG should not be part of any other board or public body.
So, in effect, this is a breach of the Constitution in including her as a commissioner, based on Section 120, 121, and 122 of the Constitution. And this is the basis in which I recommend that, the Auditor General be excluded as a commissioner.
Government member Everett Warmington, opposition committee members argued that the AG should remain a commissioner, but government members argued against this. The governing Jamaica Labour Party used its majority to vote on accepting Mr. Warmington's proposal. Committee Chair Ed Bartlett outlined the results.
We have had the full round of discussions on this one with members, and the consensus seemed to be that the recommendation be upheld, so we'll take that one.
Committee Chair Ed Bartlett. During this morning's meeting of the committee, opposition member Donna Scott Motley, who was absent from Wednesday's meeting, expressed concern with the decision.
I have examined the situation very carefully, that I see no conflict of interest, as has been put forward by some persons, that the Auditor General, from the time of the inception of any body which was designed to prevent corruption or detect corruption, the Auditor General has always sat on that body. In all of what I have heard no instance cited in terms of inappropriateness or a conflict of interest. And if there is no overwhelming submission to that effect, then I'm not moved from my position.
Opposition member Donna Scott Motley, and in a statement this afternoon, opposition leader Mark Golden said the decision represents what he described as yet another step in a broader pattern of deliberate, strategic, and dangerous assault by the Holness-led administration on Jamaica's anti-corruption architecture. Mr. Golden said the Auditor General has been a member of Jamaica's principal integrity oversight bodies since independence.
The synergistic benefits of the Auditor General being a member of the Integrity Commission in the fight against corruption outweigh the contrived arguments to the contrary, which is why it is specifically provided for in the Integrity Commission Act that was passed under this administration. This latest move must be seen in the context of a broader, deeply troubling pattern under the JLP government.
The opposition leader called on various groups in society to speak out against what he said is systemic dismantling of Jamaica's democratic safeguards.
The PNP calls on the private sector, the churches, civil society, trade unions, and indeed all right-thinking Jamaicans to stand up and speak out against the systemic dismantling of our democratic safeguards. We must defend the institutions that protect our future.
Opposition leader Mark Golden. Almost 60 persons have been hired from the Career Expo and the Employment Fair put on by the Health Ministry in January. That's according to Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton. The two-day event was part of the response to human resource challenges in the health sector. Almost 10,000 Jamaicans participated in the event, with a preliminary count indicating that close to 3,000 people were screened for vacancies. Speaking at yesterday's post-cabinet press briefing, Dr. Tufton said over 600 vacancies were advertised at the expo, while nearly 60 persons have been employed. He said interviews are ongoing.
But I can say that my presentation does have some notes on the outcome of the interviews from the expo. The expo tried to achieve two things. It tried to expose the population to the career possibilities in health, and we put on display about 30 or so. A lot of people think it's just nurse and doctor, but it's so much more. Speech therapist, for example. And we had a real nice turnout there. I think 10,000 people came. And then we interviewed, I think, nearly 2,000. The last count I have is that the system hired about 60 persons. Apparently, there was a lot of duplication. 100 persons applying for one job, one particular post. I'm not surprised because it's reflective of the shortage of the scarce areas in the society, which we know because of the circumstances that I've identified. I think there are still some processing and interviewing and so on going on. Sometimes these things take a while, but my understanding is that they have hired 50 odd or 60 or somewhere in that region. Persons have been hired out of the interviews.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton. The declining growth rate across the Caribbean is a serious cause for concern. That's the declaration from Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, Dr. Nigel Clark. He was delivering the keynote address for this year's William Damas Memorial Lecture entitled The Caribbean Challenge, Fostering Growth and Resilience Amidst Global Uncertainty. The lecture honors the leadership of the Caribbean Development Bank's second president by bringing into focus the issues and initiatives of significance to the economic development of the bank's member countries. Dr. Clark, who was a former governor of the bank, noted recent impacts to the region's growth rate, such as the U.S. tariff. However, he explained that the decline in the Caribbean growth began decades before.
Recent IMF analysis shows that most Caribbean countries had significantly slower growth over the last 2 decades, that is 2001 to 2023, as compared with the previous 2 decades, 1980 to 2000. And on this slide, we have many of the countries of the Caribbean region, and what you see is that for most countries, apart from 3, growth over the last 20 years has fallen quite a bit short of growth over the previous 20 years. It's a common story of a declining growth rate across the Caribbean region.
This, he said, creates a challenge.
This ought to be cause for some concern because it presents the Caribbean with an aggravated challenge. And that challenge is to reverse the trend of slower growth at a time when global growth itself is also declining, going up the down escalator. That is, the challenge is to reverse the trend of slower growth when the wind in the proverbial sail is weaker and has even changed direction.
Dr. Clark explained that this development could stifle opportunities for the region, despite exceptions for some countries like Guyana, with growth rising to 45% on average in the past 3 years.
Let us be clear about what is at stake. Slower growth in the Caribbean slows the improvement in living standards and stymies the aspirations of Caribbean people for better opportunities. Slower growth in the past has also meant that convergence in income levels between the Caribbean and advanced economies has stalled. In other words, the gap between the fortune of the Caribbean national and that of her counterpart in the advanced world is growing wider.
He pointed to economic stability as one goal that must be pursued by policymakers in a bid to address the growth decline. He warned that there is no magic or quick solution to the problem.
Jamaica, for example, was burdened with, and I'll just choose one variable, unemployment rates that averaged in the 20% region for all the periods from the early 1970s to the end of the 1980s, and averaged 15% from the 1990s going all the way up to the mid-2000s. And Jamaica was only able to achieve the previously unimaginable result of low single-digit unemployment, and we're talking about unemployment in the region of 4% or lower. Jamaica only achieved this when stability was restored and became entrenched. Stability is also a friend to the poor, as Jamaica's experience also highlights. Jamaica achieved the lowest poverty rate in its 61 years of independence in 2023. Again, on the back of entrenched macroeconomic stability in the context of an institutionalized social protection framework supplemented by temporary and targeted counter-cyclical measures at times of distress.
Deputy Managing Director at the International Monetary Fund, IMF, Dr. Nigel Clark. President of the People's National Party Women's Movement, Patricia Duncan Sutherland, has called for the establishment of a legislative framework that facilitates elderly persons still working post-retirement. Speaking at the meeting of the Senate Committee examining the care and protection of the elderly this week, Mrs. Duncan Sutherland pointed out that not many persons receive a livable pension, hence the need for additional financial support. She cited recent studies which highlighted elderly persons expressing a desire to obtain vocational skills training that would help them be independent and earn from skills-related jobs.
Our older people want to be independent. They wanted to know why when every time you come into the community, you come in with vocational training. It's only for up to 35 years old. What about us who now didn't get that opportunity, or we worked in a laborer's job for most of our lives? We don't have that job anymore, and we want to be able to transition to be able to earn.
Noting the concern that most entrepreneurial ventures are targeted at young people, Duncan Sutherland called for a similar program for the elderly.
So we have to look at those frameworks that encourage entrepreneurship, but just make sure they are not they do not have a age limit on them, because that's where the ageism comes in, and where we now do not have the access for the older adult as an elder, member of the elderly.
She pointed out that there is need for a mindset change as it relates to elderly autonomy.
Sometimes we confuse assistance with control, and we have to make sure how we distinguish that and how we change the mindset so we do not get to that space where we believe that we direct the elderly, but we work with them. We are partnering with them as you would partner in any family, as adults, as husband and wife, as mother and child, but as two adults to make the family work.
President of the PNP's Women's Movement, Patricia Duncan Sutherland. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon says several steps are being taken to address literacy among students, including those at the secondary school level. Her statement follows media reports that more than 70% of the roughly 220 grade 7 students at a St. Andrew-based school are unable to read or are only able to at the grade 3 level. Speaking at this morning's post-cabinet press briefing, Dr. Morris-Dixon said the ministry has identified other schools with the issue. She said programs have been put in place to address this. The minister added that more interventions are taking place and reading specialists are also working with the students. She also reiterated that reading will be timetabled at the primary level as a means of improving literacy. Dr. Morris-Dixon highlighted that students with literacy issues are usually those coming from challenging circumstances.
The students tend to come from challenging circumstances. And so we have to be intervening on multiple fronts in order to address it. And so it's happening there, it's happening in other schools, but I'm happy that, at least in this instance, I can say that the ministry is already working with the schools to ensure that we do something about this literacy problem. It is really a problem that we have to address in Jamaica, and that's been our goal, and it's been articulated. No child should leave primary school that's not literate.
She acknowledged that there are gaps at the primary level and assured that these will be addressed.
I think there are gaps, and I think it's clear that there are gaps because you do the grade 3 test, and that tells you what's happening in terms of numeracy. And I've been to many schools, and there's some schools that will show you this was the result at grade 3, and this is the plan that we have put in place, and this is how we're seeing it change from year on year. And they'll tell you that they've been working with the ministry, they've been putting in intervention programs, and they're seeing success. And so we have some schools where you have leadership that is spending a lot of time on the tests, and that's going through it and doing interventions. We even had a new one, which we started last year, which was for every student at grade 5 that was seen as underperforming at the level. We did diagnostic tests for 2,000 of them last summer, and this summer we're going to do it. So all of them that we find that are underperforming will now get a diagnostic test over the summer holiday. And so there are more interventions like that we need to do.
Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon. 3 councillors from the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation have been recommended for charge for failure to pay the fine for late submission of their statutory declarations. 2 of the councillors are attached to the People's National Party. They are Dwight Burke, who represents the Slaggerville Division, and Vanred Preddy of the Hershire Division. The third is Jamaica Labour Party member Donovan Guy, who represents the Twickenham Park Division. Natalie Campbell reports.
The Integrity Commission submitted the investigation reports and rulings to Parliament yesterday. It said the councillors failed to file their statutory declarations within the required time between 3 and 6 years ago. The Commission noted that Burke's failure relates to declarations for the period ending December 31, 2022. While Preddy's failure relates to declarations for the periods ending December 31 in 3 years, 2019, 2021, and 2022. And for Guy, it's in relation to declarations for the periods ending December 31 in the years 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. The Commission's Director of Investigations, DI, noted that Burke, Preddy, and Guy, by virtue of being public officials, are legally obligated to file statutory declarations. The DI concluded that the councillors failed to submit the requisite statutory declarations by the due date and that they provided no reasonable cause for this failure. The DI further noted that the 3 men were given an opportunity to discharge liability by paying the fixed penalty and submitting the outstanding statutory declarations. The first obligation of discharging liability to conviction of an offence is done by payment of a fixed penalty in the amount of $250,000 to Tax Administration of Jamaica. The DI concluded that all 3 councillors only submitted the outstanding statutory declarations. Therefore, they failed to discharge their liability consistent with Section 43 of the Integrity Commission Act. The DI then recommended that the 3 reports be referred to the Director of Corruption Prosecution for consideration. In the indicative ruling, the Commission's Director of Corruption Prosecution noted that upon review of the 3 reports and careful consideration, it was determined that all 3 councillors should be charged for breach of Section 43 of the Act. Reporting for IRFM News, I am Natalie Campbell.
1 man has been hospitalized after he sustained injuries in a motor vehicle crash along the St. Catherine leg of the Edward Seaga Highway earlier today. The Jamaica North-South Highway Company Limited said the highway patrol officer was pinned inside the patrol bus after a truck laden with aggregate fell on top of it. The injured employee is reportedly in stable condition and is being kept for observation and further checks. A representative of the company told IRFM News that the patrol officer was responding to a distress call about a disabled truck along the highway when the incident occurred. It's not clear what was the initial issue with the truck. When the truck fell on top of the patrol bus, the aggregate spilled onto the roadway. The overturned vehicle and material caused congestion on the northbound lane between Linstead and Unity Valley. The police and fire brigade were summoned and efforts are being made to clear the roadway. Motorists are being urged to use alternative routes. Hundreds of People's National Party PNP supporters and officials gathered in Old Harbour St. Catherine this morning to demand good governance. This is the party's second protest since the appointment of Dennis Chung as the Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division. Among those who took to the streets were Party President Mark Goldin, General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell, and Senator Peter Bunting. The protest began at 8 a.m. with placard-bearing supporters dancing in the streets, calling for an end to corruption and the removal of Mr. Chung. Golden said the party will continue to support honesty and put the people first.
Comrades, we support good mind, we support principle, we support righteousness, we support upliftment of people, we support honesty in public life, we support delivering what the people of Jamaica are asking for, development, using the resources that are available and not moving them into the pockets of those who are not deserving, those who are friend and company of those who hold power.
PNP President Mark Goldin. The government said the appointment of Chung is valid. However, the opposition has maintained that the appointment is neither fair nor just. Kingston Mayor Andrew Swaby says 125 abandoned or disabled vehicles were removed from the roadways in the corporate area last month. He made this statement at yesterday's meeting of the municipal corporation. He was given an update on the corporation's Cleaner Kingston initiative. Mayor Swaby said the operations were carried out in various communities to include Irishtown, Gordontown, Maryland, Red Hills, and Belvedere Drive.
We also removed derelict vehicles from the roadways in Corville Gardens in the Duane Park Division, Thompson Boulevard in the Mullines Garden Division, and Mona and College Green communities in the Mona Division. This represents a total of 125 abandoned or disabled vehicles removed from along the roadways. We are all aware of the hazard caused by having these derelict motor vehicles in these spaces and the benefits of having them removed.
He noted that a garbage pile-up on a property close to the Tarrant Primary and High School was also removed last month. Mayor Swaby said the property was used by robbers who targeted students, staff, and parents who traversed the area.
We prevented what could easily cause a public health emergency caused by illegal dumping and overgrown bushes on a private property near the schools. Representation was made by Councillor Wayne Strawn Nelson after multiple notices were served on the landowner who failed to take any action to remedy the situation. The results have been very positive. Parents, students, and both schools have expressed their gratitude. The principal of the primary school expressed that she believed that this cleanup will have a positive impact on registration for the upcoming school year. This cleanup helped to prevent a serious health hazard and stop rodent infestation. It also made the space safer for families and reduced the chance of illegal activities happening there.
Kingston Mayor Andrew Swaby. Environment Minister Matthew Samuda said 3,000 trees have been planted in the aftermath of roadworks in the corporate area. This followed an assessment done on tree cover loss and the need to replenish vegetation in areas impacted by rehabilitation works on Lady Musgrave Road, East Kings House Road, and Arthur Wynne Drive. He was speaking Monday at the handing over of a tree relocator equipment.
That assessment showed 214 trees, not that would be affected, but could be. Because of that, we did the assessment of what the carbon capture could be, what the sort of loss of tree cover could be, and we assessed that to be sure that we replenished and replaced, we would plant 1,500 trees. That's what the assessment, highlighted we need to do. As of today, we have planted 3,000 trees within a kilometer of the sites where the roads will be expanded. So within a kilometer of all three roads, we have increased tree cover by some 3,000, and the survivability rate is above 90%. So we know we're doing well in that regard. However, we're not saying all 200 trees will be affected. We said we don't know which ones will be affected at this stage. So we're also going to make the investment to make sure that the ones with the root structure that can be relocated, that stand to be affected, can be relocated. And this will be how we approach all major government developments. It will also be available to the private sector who are doing housing developments who wish to preserve trees with particular root structure. It is just another investment in Jamaica's march towards sustainable development.
Mr. Samuda said amid development projects, efforts continue to protect tree cover. The minister pointed out that the tree relocated equipment is indicative of attempts to facilitate sustainable growth.
The particular device recognizes that Jamaica is indeed growing and that Jamaica does need to continue to grow at a particular pace if it is to solve its poverty issues, if it is to ensure that its population can achieve their collective ambition, but it is important to achieve so in a sustainable way.
Environment Minister Matthew Samuda. Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett said the Hope Botanical Gardens Jam Iconic experience will attract more modern visitors. He made these statements at the unveiling ceremony at Hope Gardens in Kingston yesterday. He said the initiative will provide an immersive, authentic, and visually engaging experience. The minister noted that the Jam Iconic experience will also create spaces for entrepreneurship.
The Jam Iconic initiative is part of our vision to position Jamaica not just as a place to visit, but a story to enjoy and an experience to be had firsthand. A space like this, rich in flora, layered in history, and beloved by locals, is an opportunity to deepen our product offering in the Kingston destination area. And as we expand our reach into urban ecotourism, projects like these help us speak more directly to the desires of modern travelers, providing, of course, immersive, authentic, and visually engaging experiences. I want to pause to make that point as part of not just what Jamaica says, but what Jamaica must represent. And as we grow tourism, today we can boast that we have created the critical mass to enable an immersive experience that now brings greater value to our people and to create space for entrepreneurship and for us to be more deeply inserted on the supply side of tourism, which is where the wealth of tourism really is.
He said the Hope Botanical Gardens Jam Iconic experience is a celebration of Jamaica's heritage and part of government strategy to enhance destination appeal.
The Hope Royal Botanical Garden stands not only as the largest public green space in the Kingston metropolitan region, but also as one of our nation's most beloved natural and cultural assets. It is therefore fitting that we unveil Jamaica's fourth Jam Iconic experience right here in Hope Botanical Gardens. This latest addition is more than an alluring landmark. It is a symbol of renewal, a celebration of our heritage, and a powerful tool in our strategy to enhance our destination's appeal. It aligns with the Tourism Product Development Company's wider mandate to shape spaces that speak to the heart of our identity while improving the overall visitor experience.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett. With the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season on the way and Jamaica's preparation advanced, residents of St. Elizabeth and one psychologist are calling for counseling and mental health interventions to be included in the national disaster preparation efforts, noting the widespread negative effects of Hurricane Beryl, which hit the island in July 2024, and wreaked significant havoc on St. Elizabeth in particular. They say these have caused mental distress among many in the parish. More in the support from Maisha Brody.
We are in the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, one that is projected to be active with some 19 named tropical storms and 3 to 5 major hurricanes expected. Already, the United States National Hurricane Center is tracking 3 tropical waves. But what is Jamaica doing? Is the country prepared for a potentially devastating weather system? According to Finance Minister Favour Williams, financially it is.
An additional facility was added to bring the disaster coverage for Jamaica to $130.6 billion.
And Works Minister Robert Morgan said drain cleaning and other activities have been done.
Government has earmarked $2 billion for comprehensive repair and enhancement to the national gully network.
Petrojam said it's prepared with $32 billion worth of all major fuel types in storage. Utility companies like the JPS, the NWC, Flow and Digicel have also taken necessary preparatory steps. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has stressed important aspects of Jamaica's preparation.
You have to now be prepared to deal with the energy crisis that could come, the trade crisis that could come, the impact on the economy in terms of inflation when goods get scarce, citizen safety and security issues that could happen. All elements of any consideration as to the stability of the society must be considered in preparedness.
But what about health-related preparations? More so, mental health. Have measures been taken to help persons prepare psychologically, especially St. Elizabeth residents who were left cut off from the rest of Jamaica with downed trees blocking roads, homes destroyed, and months-long electricity outages? In the aftermath of Beryl, the St. Elizabeth Health Department expanded mental health services, particularly counseling, to support families affected by the traumatic event. But nearly a year later, that help has not reached many. One resident who wished not to be named said Beryl impacted many people mentally. She wants people to receive mental support in preparation for hurricanes.
Following the hurricane, a lot of people are scared. A lot of people, especially the older people, so they never want to go through that again. Now when it's raining and it's windy, it's a reminder of what Beryl brought. It's frightening. Something you just don't want to do again. So I feel like the government could be proactive, send counselors, send people to come to the communities, ensure that the different companies are doing what they're supposed to. It's been almost a year since Beryl. We still have remnants of Beryl. There's still a fallen light post in my lane. It's just a reminder that, you know, you were without electricity. It was so depressing, sad, lonely, all of that.
St. Elizabeth resident. Psychologist Dr. Paul Smith, who has been operating in St. Elizabeth for 15 years, shares this view. He said after Beryl, there was a 10% increase in people, including children and mostly women, seeking mental health services.
They come in and they will say that they have not gotten psychologically, emotionally over the damage that, was caused by Beryl. Children, adults, families. At least the children, most time the guidance counselors in the schools realize that something is off. So in consultation with the parents, the children will refer to me to the guidance counselor. Sometimes it is for the children that the family comes in for counseling as well. In a number of cases now, the issue of hurricane, storms, weather threat, as they hear these kind of words, is a trigger for anxiety.
He believes that the government and other civil society groups, such as churches, should do more to provide pre-hurricane season counseling sessions.
When I look at the clients,
Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, has assured that Jamaica's international reputation is sound and highly positive. She was reacting to comments made by her opposition counterpart, Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, about potential adverse effects due to the appointment of Dennis Chung as Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division, FID. In her sectoral debate presentation, Dr. Brown-Burke had warned that the government's disregard for transparency, accountability, and institutional integrity is pushing Jamaica towards a financial and diplomatic crisis. Citing recent alleged breaches, Dr. Brown-Burke accused the government of placing the country's global credibility at risk and undermining critical anti-corruption safeguards.
We have learned as well that the government has compounded this breach of good governance by appointing someone who is both unqualified and tainted with implicit bias to head the Financial Investigations Division. A statement of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, in a rare moment of candor, issued a sober warning to the Senate last year. And here I quote, "If Jamaica is blacklisted by FATF, it will be catastrophic. We will be treated like a high-risk jurisdiction. Financial institutions would sever ties. Correspondent banking could be lost. We would struggle to do international business. Our citizens would be the ones to suffer." End of quote. Madam Speaker, it is that catastrophe that we believe is a real and present danger. And it's not being caused by war or natural disaster or economic collapse. It is being caused by recklessness, and arrogance, we believe, of this administration.
Opposition spokesperson on Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Dr. Angela Brown-Burke. In a statement today, Senator Johnson Smith stated that the irresponsibility of the opposition People's National Party is putting Jamaica's reputation at risk.
The only things putting Jamaica's reputation at risk at this time are the PNP's irresponsible utterances and their attempts to bring them to international attention. The PNP has again demonstrated that they are willing to tarnish Jamaica's reputation if they believe it will get them closer to the seat of government. This is not only deeply unpatriotic, but it's entirely counterintuitive for someone who is seeking to present themselves as an alternative representative of the country's interests overseas.
The minister described the PNP's approach as reckless. Johnson Smith said recent efforts by the opposition to impugn the reputation of Jamaica's anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing systems and frameworks is indicative of their inability to demonstrate readiness to lead and represent a country.
FATF is concerned with anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing systems and frameworks. So their utterances are more than ironic because it is the JLP-led government that inherited and addressed the problems identified by FATF when they reviewed Jamaica's systems in 2015. It's those findings that led to Jamaica's ultimate listing in 2020, and it is those matters which we fixed to get us off the list in 2024. The recklessness of the PNP really shouldn't escape the Jamaican people, given the very hard work of the government across ministries, departments and agencies to fix the problems that they left. Systemic problems, difficult problems. And in fact, their most recent efforts to impugn at the same time the reputations of our robust AML-CFT systems, our strong and independent Offices of Services Commission, and one of the most well-qualified and unbiased persons to offer themselves for public service across administrations. That must be seen as some kind of trifecta, some political record in terms of the depths to which they will sink and their inability to demonstrate readiness to lead and represent a country.
Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith. Meantime, opposition leader Mark Golding has expressed disappointment with the response of some private sector leaders to the appointment of Dennis Chung as Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division, FID. He further suggested that members of the private sector revisit the issue.
I suggest that they reconsider the matter and look at the facts, because it is absolutely clear and blatant that this appointment is totally inappropriate, untenable, and should not stand.
The opposition has not supported the appointment and staged a protest on Monday to emphasize their position. Mr. Golding reiterated that Mr. Chung has no law enforcement qualification.
Somebody who, although an accountant, has no law enforcement experience, no particular qualifications in the area of fighting financial crimes, money laundering, terrorism financing, which are the core requirements to run the FID. The FID is an investigative law enforcement agency, and it's a very important one because it is the authority that international law enforcement, anti-corruption and anti-financial crime agencies interact with Jamaica. So this is a totally untenable situation, and I'm very happy that various non-government and non-political organizations have come forward and said this is untenable, this doesn't look right, it should not stand.
Opposition leader Mark Golding, he was speaking at a town hall meeting hosted by his party in St. James on Wednesday. People's National Party PNP caretakers in the 5 St. James constituencies have taken issue with another possible delay in the completion of the Cornwall Regional Hospital's rehabilitation project. During a tour of the medical facility on Tuesday, consultant project manager for the rehabilitation works, Vivian Gordon, said contractually the completion is slated for April next year, but the quantity of works may push that timeline to 5 months later. This possible September timeline has not been well received by the PNP, especially caretakers Nikisha Burchell of South St. James, Dr. Andre Horton of West Central St. James, Senator Janice Allen of Central St. James, Alan Bernard of Northwest St. James, and Rochelle Reed Knott of East Central St. James. The caretakers have jointly condemned any further delay in the project, which is now in its 8th year. Stressing the importance of the hospital, Senator Allen said the facility is not just a building, but also the heartbeat of public health in Western Jamaica.
We're not just talking about blocks and steel. This is about survival. We are playing with lives while the government plays with excuses.
Her sentiment was echoed by Ms. Burchell, who highlighted the concerns of citizens over the lack of easy and timely access to basic health care.
This hospital has become the most painful symbol of state failure. What do we have to show? One administrative building and more excuses? Every week, I receive calls from constituents crying, some angry, who can't get basic treatment or timely care. The personal toll is really unbearable. This is not just unacceptable, it is unforgivable.
And Mr. Bernard called for the government to be more realistic about the completion timeline. He is also demanding that the Andrew Holness-led administration formally apologize to the citizens of Western Jamaica for the delay.
The time for excuses is over. We demand that the Holness administration and the Minister of Health provide the country with a realistic, evidence-based timeline for the completion of the Cornwall Regional Hospital project, with details of the expenditure and a formal apology to the people of Western Jamaica for the hardship they have endured.
PNP St. James caretakers, in light of substantial funds already invested in the prolonged delays, the PNP is also doubling down on its call for the Auditor General to conduct a special audit of the rehabilitation project to ensure Jamaica's tax dollars are not being mismanaged. The management of the Knox College in Spalding, Clarendon says an investigation has been launched into what it describes as a disheartening and disappointing incident on the institution's property yesterday. In a video which has now gone viral on social media, scores of students were captured engaging in a brawl in full view of the public. The school's administration said students found to have instigated or willingly participated in this altercation will face the full consequences as outlined in the institution's code of conduct. It notes that the incident is an embarrassment to the school and a breach of the trust placed in the students to conduct themselves at a higher standards. Knox College stresses that the matter is being treated seriously. Efforts are being made by the Guild of Students at the University of the West Indies Mona campus to have discounted fares offered on shuttle service to students. The update was given by Guild President Rashawn Winter, who spoke at the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services TODS virtual meeting last evening. Yesterday's meeting focused on safety and public transportation on campuses in observation of National Road Safety Month. Winter noted that the Guild is in discussions with UWI management to have shuttle service offered, as well as to have the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, offer special service to students.
What I will say, though, is that we've already reached out to JUTC. We've gotten good feedback preliminarily, and we're currently engaging the university administration as well as to how we can get one of or two of those buses on one of our routes. We'll be rolling back out our shuttle service, providing safe transportation for students. We are looking to engage the ministry on broader considerations as to our recommendations to the ministry for the new regulatory framework that we are demanding to be implemented to regulate the ride-hailing apps to ensure that transport for our students is done in a safe, in a convenient, in a consistent and affordable manner.
He added that with financial difficulties taken into consideration, the Guild will seek to assist students in having their shuttle fares reduced come September.
One of the things that we aim to add this year is a discounted rate for some students, especially the students who are most in need. And we will do our assessment, and for those students, we'll have them enroll and they will be able to access the shuttle service at a discounted rate. Days gone in the past, it was just a case where everybody pays a blanket fee. And normally it is just about or a little bit higher than what the general rate was. So if you pay 180 from the back gate, normally they charge you 200 or 180 or maybe 230 to 250. It's normally in that range of being the same or just a little bit more. But what we want to do this year is to ensure that at least for as many students as we can, for the ones who are in need, it can be a little less.
Wiggled President Rashawn Winter. The establishment of an agreement between independent schools and the Hart Estate Trust is among a raft of recommendations made by the Education Ministry as part of efforts to boost collaboration. This in the wake of a meeting yesterday involving Education Minister Senator Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, other ministry officials, and a team from the Jamaica Independent Schools Association, JISA, led by President Tamar McKenzie. Natalie Campbell reports.
In a statement, the ministry noted that the JISA team highlighted areas of concern affecting the independent school sector. These include the need for technical assistance through internship support in areas such as accounting and administrative operations. Dr. Morris-Dixon proposed the drafting of a memorandum of understanding between JISA and the Hart NSTA Trust, which would enable independent schools to benefit from the National Skills Training and Internship Framework of the government. She said her ministry will facilitate dialogue between both entities in the shortest possible time. In highlighting gaps in school leadership and professional development, the JISA president called for the inclusion of independent school leaders in the ministry's training seminars and back-to-school conferences, noting that such collaboration would raise the overall standard of education delivery across all school types. A matter of national significance discussed was the lack of accountability among some unregistered independent schools, which, according to Mrs. McKenzie, continues to pose a serious threat to the reputation and credibility of the wider independent school community. JISA reaffirmed its support for robust regulatory oversight and encouraged greater enforcement to protect students and families. Dr. Morris-Dixon expressed gratitude for the candid exchange and committed to building a more inclusive framework for independent schools. The ministry says it recognizes the critical role that independent schools play in national development. The minister said yesterday's meeting signals the intention to ensure that JISA is not just consulted, but meaningfully engaged in shaping the future of education in Jamaica. The meeting also allowed for agreement of the signing of the new MOUs for spaces in independent schools, as well as for the provision of an office for full-time staff. The ministry and JISA will hold a follow-up meeting to agree on the timelines and other concerns of the association, including the establishment of a formal working group to advance the collaboration agenda. Reporting for Area FM News, I am Natalie Campbell.
Partners from the European Union, Latin America, and the Caribbean are meeting in Kingston, Jamaica, to hold talks on digital cooperation. The talks are being facilitated under the first EU-LAT Digital Alliance high-level policy dialogue. The high-level meeting, which is being co-chaired by Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, is being held at the S Hotel in Kingston from June 5 to 6. It seeks to define concrete EU-Caribbean digital cooperation opportunities in the lead-up to the 2025 Community of Latin America and the Caribbean States EU Summit. Discussions will focus on thematic areas such as cybersecurity, e-governance and data governance, meaningful connectivity, and artificial intelligence. Speaking at the opening ceremony for the dialogue, Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for efficiency, innovation, and digital transformation, Senator Audrey Marks, noted that the alliance aims to strengthen bi-regional cooperation on digital issues through a structured multi-stakeholder approach. She added that the government is in full support of the CARICOM Cyber Resilience Strategy 2030.
Cross-border nature of cyber crimes and cyber threats do not allow countries to work in isolation. Therefore, collaboration with public and private sector organizations nationally, regionally, and internationally will become more important as we grow and develop. I'm pleased to report that the Government of Jamaica is in full support of the CARICOM Cyber Resilience Strategy 2030 and expect this dialogue to identify initiatives aligned with that regional and the hemispheric vision.
As it relates to AI, Senator Mark said it is really important that governments look at the opportunities and the potential for harm.
I cannot overemphasize how important this is, just to make sure that we have governance to look at the opportunities, but also to safeguard against the potential for devastation in bad use of AI. The government believes AI holds transformative potential for economies in significant ways. Therefore, it must be deployed responsibly. Consequently, Jamaica established a national AI task force in 2023 and has completed policy recommendations using UNESCO's AI readiness assessment. This has informed the creation of a national AI policy. Regionally, we support the Caribbean AI Policy Roadmap and the CTU-led initiative to harmonize AI policy across CARICOM, helping to avoid fragmentation and boost our collective voice in global AI governance.
Minister of Digital Transformation, Senator Audrey Marks. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the government is examining legislation to introduce harsher penalties for thieves who prey on telecommunications infrastructure. Dr. Holness, who chairs the National Disaster Risk Management Council, says Jamaica has a very robust telecommunication infrastructure which has served the country through storms. However, he notes that the systems are vulnerable to criminal activity. Telecommunications companies have spent millions over the years to replace stolen equipment. Dr. Holness acknowledges their efforts, adding that the government must also take action.
Particularly the theft of fuel, the theft of generators, the theft of copper and fiber, and sometimes even the repeaters. So that is a significant vulnerability. I know they have invested heavily in trying to secure the equipment that keeps the network running, but I think that the government must now create special legislation to place special harsher penalties on those persons who prey upon these critical infrastructure.
The Prime Minister points out that the theft of critical infrastructure puts entire communities at risk.
Now think about it. Someone goes and steals 50 gallon, 100 gallon of fuel. That repeater cell site goes down. The person who steals gets whatever he gets. I don't know how much they get for that fuel. They probably sell it at half price. But everybody else is without. The commerce that doesn't get to go through, right? Somebody in an emergency need to call a hospital or get some emergency service. That one thief would have put an entire community at risk. And we cannot treat it as, him just thief some fuel. That level of thinking in our society where we make excuses for these kinds of acts, we must take that out of our mind. His act is not stealing from the telecommunication company. He's stealing from you. He's taking away your security and your safety. It is a criminal act against essentially a public service. And the level of punishment for that should be stronger for a greater deterrent effect. And so we are examining the legislation to improve that.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. And Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has again lamented the speed at which business is done in Jamaica. Speaking at the contract signing and groundbreaking ceremony for East Palms housing development in Kingston yesterday, the Prime Minister noted that it is a disappointment that the groundbreaking has taken so long. He said the speed at which business is undertaken is in need of transformation. However, he reiterated that protocol must be followed.
It is obviously a disappointment that it has taken so long, but it is happening. It is happening. And I am seeing this smile on the beneficiary's face, representing the family. You are obviously a woman of great patience. And that is a part of the government that we need to transform. The bureaucracy of government. The speed at which we get things done. Presently, we are laser focused on making sure that we have a high level of compliance with the rules. But that level of focus and compliance, though important and though it must never be compromised, needs to also take into account that for 4 years, elderly persons, school children, and others were deprived of their homes and the benefit.
The Prime Minister argued that not all the rules make sense. He said steps towards groundbreaking need to be re-engineered.
we need to do two things. We need to look at all the rules that are in place and see which one makes sense. Because not every one of the rules that are there makes sense or actually serves a purpose. So we have to do what is called a transformation of the processes. In other words, they call that the business process re-engineering. We have to re-engineer the steps that are required for us to get to this point where we can break ground. Because some of the steps don't make sense. And then we have to increase efficiency. We know the steps that have to be done, but they don't have to take so long. We have to work faster.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness.
Seventh-day Adventist Church in St. Catherine today, as family, community members and well-wishers gathered to celebrate the life of 9-year-old Kelsey Farragon. The young girl was murdered in Spanish Town last month. Her body was discovered at her home on Job Lane, Spanish Town on May 9. The main suspect, 30-year-old Giovanni Ellis, also known as Coolie Man, was shot and killed during an alleged confrontation with lawmen in Sandy Bay, Clarendon soon after. Members of the government were among those who attended Kelsey's funeral on Monday. Education and Youth Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon said more action must be taken to rid the country of child abuse. She said as they gathered to celebrate Kelsey today, there are many children who continue to be abused.
But as we grieve today and as we pray today, as Minister Grain said, it is a call for us to act. Remember, faith without works. Exactly, you know it. It's nothing, it's dead. And so we can't come here today and pray and pray and pray and then go home and do absolutely nothing. We must not allow Kelsey's life to pass without meaning. And I'm going to tell you something. You see all these young children up here? They're beautiful. I was looking at them and I'm thinking of all the potential they have. And I don't want to go to a funeral again with another pretty program like this and with a beautiful casket like that. But guess what? If you look around in this room today, I am telling you there are children in here who are currently being abused.
The minister called on the nation to stop protecting child abusers simply because they are relatives and friends.
And we need to stop pretending that those who are in our family are innocent. They are not innocent. And it is up to us to play our role in calling out these people. It doesn't help us when we say, oh, it's my family member, it's my brother, it's my cousin. It doesn't help us. And so we have to commit as a country, as a people, not to have this perpetuate. I want the children to know if you are in any danger, please tell an adult, and adults, please believe them and keep them safe.
Education and Youth Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon. Her comments were echoed by Member of Parliament for St. Catherine Central and Gender Minister Olivia Grange, who reiterated that it takes a village to raise a child. She called for the country to return to the days when community members saw every child as their own.
So today, the name Kelsey Farragon must never be forgotten. Perhaps in not being able to attain her dreams, she may be the promoter of a larger dream where every Jamaican child lives to achieve his or her dreams, where every child is safe and free to live without fear. As God's little angel returns to her creator too soon, may we pledge to play our part in making Jamaica once more a village that cares for its most vulnerable, its children.
MP and Gender Minister Olivia Grange. In the meantime, Louise Clark, principal of St. John's Primary, where Kelsey attended, said she was quiet and was a known problem solver.
Kelsey was by no means a troublemaker or a troubled child. In fact, her teacher further described her as the problem solver, the one who was always trying to fix whatever was wrong in the class and also fixing when our classmates, when they fell out of line, sometimes quite literally. She is remembered as the little girl with the contagious smile, and you can see that that would light up her classroom, and her positive energy could always lift the spirits of those around her.
Louise Clark, principal of St. John's Primary, and one of Kelsey's relatives, Matthew Smith, said she was very smart and loving.
You see, Kelsey's a very smart and intelligent little girl. When I time Kelsey, Daddy and Georgia make some mashed potato for her, and she come and she say, Feda, you want some? And me say, you know, me don't want a mashed potato for you, because I feel like say you're general me. You know? And she laugh. And me say, you up to something, man. No care how you see a farm, you know, it's a pig farm run, and no matter how you see it look and how it stay, Kelsey and Kaylee are finding way to come check me. Because I always deal with them good, because I have 3 daughters as well, and Georgia have 3 daughters and 1 son, and I have 3 daughters and 1 son, said we. Yeah, so if when my daughter come from school, the first place she want to go around her Kelsey. So it break my heart to see say Kelsey got away there, but God a God. God a God every time.
Matthew Smith, a relative of slain 9-year-old Kelsey Farragon. Jamaica recorded a murder-free day yesterday. That's according to head of Police Area 5, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips. ACP Phillips made the disclosure at the funeral service for 9-year-old Kelsey Farragon in Spanish Town, St. Catherine today. According to ACP Phillips, today's funeral and yesterday are a reminder of the importance of creating a safe country for citizens, especially children.
Yesterday we had a murder-free day in Jamaica, and the police are celebrating a murder-free day. As we reflect on this tragedy, we're reminded of the importance of creating a safe and nurturing environment for our children. The Bible reminds us in Matthew 19:14, and I think I heard the minister with it earlier. Let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that our children feel safe, loved, and protected. And in light of this tragedy, I want to reiterate, even in the interests of our Commissioner of Police, our call for our nation to make it secure and a time for pretend, as echoed in the powerful lyrics of Sizzla's song. We cannot afford to pretend that our children are safe when they are not.
He said such an incident should never happen again, noting that crime cannot flourish in a community that cares.
We must take concrete actions to prioritize the safety and well-being of our children. As the JCF, as the Jamaica Constabulary Force, you saw that we were committed to conducting a thorough and diligent investigation into Kelsey's murder. You have seen the results of our determination, and there was no doubt around our findings as to the person who was responsible. No doubt, absolutely no. But it should never happen again, never. And I always lament that crime cannot flourish in a community that cares. Crime cannot flourish in a community that cares. I want to appeal to our people once more to let us care for our children in an extraordinary way.
Head of Police Area 5, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips. 289 murders were recorded in Jamaica up to Saturday, June 7. This represents a 44.1% decline in comparison to the same period last year when 517 murders were committed. According to the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the St. Andrews South Division had the highest number of murders with 40, followed by St. Catherine South with 26. Trelawney saw the lowest with 5. The JCF is also reporting that cases of rape declined by 69. Meanwhile, robberies went up by 10 and break-ins by 76. Meantime, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the 44.1% reduction in murders is as a result of investments in the security forces. These include new technology and improved leadership.
We
put in place a plan Secure Jamaica, where we invested in our security forces, we improved their technology, we changed leadership and doctrine, we increased their numbers, we increased their mobility, and now we have a police force over which we can be proud. I'm pleased to report to you that murders in Jamaica today is down 44.1% when you compare it to last year. We have seized 459 guns, 459, compared to last year when we seized 377. The government has made significant investment in improving the capabilities of our security forces and Jamaica Customs to find the illegal guns coming into the country.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. He was speaking at a Jamaica Labour Party conference in South Central St. Catherine last night. A taxi operator is in police custody following the seizure of 6 firearms on Friday. Police say 10 9mm rounds of ammunition were also seized during an operation in Kingston 20. Natalie Campbell reports.
Reports are that about 7:14 p.m., investigators assigned to the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division, FNID, intercepted a motor car, and a search of the vehicle revealed the prohibited weapons, ammunition, and 6 magazines. The driver, a taxi operator from Duhaney Park, Kingston 20, was arrested. His identity is being withheld pending further investigations. This seizure brings the total number of prohibited weapons seized by FNID within the past 3 weeks to 276. Since the start of 2025, FNID has seized 413 prohibited weapons, accounting for 58% of the total 713 weapons seized by the police so far this year. The constabulary says its efforts have already yielded 86% of the total prohibited weapons seized in the entire year of 2024, which stood at 833. Director of FNID, Acting Senior Superintendent of Police Patry Rowe, states that these seizures are a direct result of strategic policing efforts aimed at crime reduction and control, alongside a commitment to improve the safety and security of citizens. According to Acting SSP Rowe, firearms remain the weapon of choice in violent crimes perpetrated island-wide. He says police are intensifying operations, leveraging intelligence, technology, and the support of stakeholders to pursue illegal weapons. The public is reminded to share information with the police on illegal weapons by calling FNID at 876-923-6184, the National Intelligence Bureau at 811, Crime Stop at 311, or the nearest police station. Reporting for IRFM News, I am Natalie Campbell.
The Supreme Court has ruled in favor of 3 People's National Party PNP candidates from St. James in the lawsuit over the removal of campaign signs. The 3, Dr. Andre Horton, Senator Janice Allen, and Alan Bernard, brought the suit against the St. James Municipal Corporation. Clement Reed reports.
In a statement this afternoon, the PNP said the case was triggered by the St. James Municipal Corporation's decision under the leadership of Mayor of Montego Bay, the Jamaica Labour Party's Richard Vernon, to remove multiple PNP campaign posters on April 5, 2025. In response, the PNP candidates filed a claim for judicial review challenging the legality and constitutionality of the corporation's actions. They also applied for injunctions to prevent the corporation and its agents from removing or destroying their campaign material. The PNP said in a decisive ruling, the court granted both the leave for judicial review and the injunctions, effectively halting the corporation's actions and affirming the candidates' constitutional rights. The party said this latest courtroom success marks yet another legal win for the PNP in its ongoing defense of democracy and fairness in Jamaica, not only in the electoral arena, but across multiple instances where the law has been used to check political overreach. Spokesperson on Justice Senator Donna Scott Motley said this ruling upholds the principles of fairness, freedom of expression, and the rule of law. She stated that the PNP will continue to challenge the abuse of state power wherever it appears, adding that no public authority has the right to suppress legitimate political participation and no Jamaican should fear political victimization. The PNP has reaffirmed its commitment to stand against all forms of political intimidation and to ensure that Jamaicans can participate in free, fair, and transparent elections. Reporting for IRFM News, I'm Clement Reed.
The government is moving to develop a processing plant for crops such as yams and potatoes. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made the statement at a Jamaica Labour Party meeting in Albertown, Trelawney at the weekend. The Prime Minister said the aim is to process crops like yam locally.
So we are growing them in their primary state. We cut off the bottom and the top, we wash it off, and we export it. But we need to start processing them here into different forms and in different functional ways so that people can use them in other ways than they normally would. And what I have given the instruction to the Minister of Agriculture to do is to develop a plan, to develop a processing plant here, to introduce new technologies into the agriculture sector here, into the farming of yams and other tubers, and then to take those and process them into new products that meet the new emerging markets for what they call nutrition-dense food, for healthy foods, and for foods that doesn't have what they call a high glycemic index, meaning that them the food they not give you sugar. And that is where the big market is. And that is where we need to move our agriculture.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness.